Nelson Mandela was born on July 18, 1918, to the royal family of the Thembu tribe in Mvezo, British South Africa. He received the name Nelson from a teacher at age 7. He was a dedicated student and eventually majored in law at the University of Fort Hare and the University of Witwatersrand. Following his education, he became a lawyer in Johannesburg, where he became involved in anti-colonial and African nationalist movements. This video explores the life of Nelson Mandela as a social rights activist, politician, and philanthropist. In 1943, Mandela joined the African National Congress (ANC) party and co-founded its Youth League in 1944. After the implementation of apartheid, a system promoting white supremacy and the suppression of black people, ANC members, including Mandela, dedicated their lives to overthrowing this injustice. Mandela ascended to the position of president of the ANC's Transvaal branch, gaining widespread recognition for his role in the 1952 Defiance Campaign and the 1955 Congress of the People. Predictably, he became increasingly unpopular among the white-only authorities. In 1956, he was arrested for treason and served 5 years in prison. Upon his release, along with his fellow ANC members and the South African Communist Party, SACP, Nelson co-founded the militant group Umkhonto we Sizwe, the Spear of the Nation, and led an anti-government sabotage campaign. Unfortunately, he was rearrested in 1962 and sentenced to life imprisonment for conspiring against the nation. Mandela spent the following 27 years in prison, being transferred from Robben Island to Pollsmoor Prison and Victor Verster Prison. During his 18 years on Robben Island, he and his comrades endured physical and verbal abuse from white guards. Mandela's eyesight was permanently damaged from working at a lime quarry without glasses. Despite these harsh conditions, his influence as a human rights activist grew. On Robben Island, Nelson became a prominent figure among ANC prisoners and extended his influence by joining a group representing all Robben Island political prisoners called the High Organ. Through this group, he built connections with other activist organizations like the Pan-Africanist Congress and the Uchi Chan Club. He later initiated the University of Robben Island, a movement that allowed prisoners to share their skills and knowledge. Nelson himself engaged in socio-political debates with his comrades. To the white guards who mistreated him, he sought understanding and aimed to convert them to his cause. In 1982, he and other ANC figures were transferred to Pollsmoor Prison, likely due to authorities' fear of Nelson's rising prominence on Robben Island. Ironically, his significance as a freedom fighter grew even more powerful. Conditions at Pollsmoor were better than those on Robben Island, and Nelson developed a good relationship with the commanding officer. Utilizing his freedom to read and correspond, he read and wrote tirelessly, reaching out not only to the black community but also to people of other races. In the 1980s, South Africa descended into chaos due to socio-economic breakdowns. Violence erupted across the country, and many international banks withdrew their investments from South Africa. Pressured by British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher and bankers, President Botha reluctantly offered to release Nelson from prison if he renounced violence as a political weapon. Mandela refused to compromise, stating that the ANC would renounce violence if the government did the same. This stance resulted in solitary confinement, worsening his tuberculosis condition. In 1988, he was transferred to Victor Verster Prison, where conditions improved significantly. He was housed in a warden's house with a personal cook and used the time to complete his Bachelor of Law degree. During his stay, he was allowed many visitors and organized secret communications with exiled ANC leader Oliver Tambo. The new president of South Africa, F.W. de Klerk, met with him to discuss ending apartheid and had him released in 1990. In 1991, Nelson became president of the ANC and worked with President de Klerk to end apartheid peacefully, promising equal rights for everyone. Their efforts to achieve peace in South Africa earned them the Nobel Peace Prize in 1993. Mandela's tireless fight for justice culminated in the 1994 general election, which granted voting rights to all races in South Africa. The ANC won, and Nelson Mandela became the country's first black president. As president, Mandela continued to fight for black people's rights by implementing policies to to improve living standards and facilities for Black South Africans, seeking to alleviate the pain caused by decades of oppression. He extended his humanitarian efforts to ensure South Africa became a country of equality for all, regardless of race or color. In 1999, Nelson Mandela retired from politics, but he remained an icon of peace and equality worldwide. In the same year, he founded the Nelson Mandela Foundation, dedicated to upholding the principles of equality, freedom, and peace in South Africa. Often referred to by his Xhosa clan name Madiba and described as the father of the nation, Mandela's passing in 2013 saddened the world, leaving many in tears. However, his legacy as a symbol of equality and humanitarianism will endure forever.